Hello, IK here. Welcome to JavaScript engines developer, engine developer, not front-end developer, but engine developer. Continuous. I spoke about that, and now I continue about that. I can say continuous one, I think is correct. Look at high-level language JavaScript, front-end developer, code JavaScript statement. It is like sentence in text. Every JavaScript statement, there is a grammar, we write statement, JavaScript statement by grammar, JavaScript grammar. As a sentence in text, grammar. We must know grammar to write a sentence in text. Also, we must know grammar of JavaScript to write a JavaScript statement. Because JavaScript statement, one statement, or for example, here 100 statement, there is a machine language instruction, 30 millions. And what it means? It means that the JavaScript engine developer must create C++ program which would translate 100 JavaScript statements to 30 million machine language instructions. And for every application must create, every JavaScript application would go, what we enter, what we created and enter, JavaScript engine program must translate in, for example, if all have 100 JavaScript statements, every of them must, they are different, must translate in 30 million machine language instructions. It is a big job in one sequence. Because of that, we have a virtual machine, one intermediate step, virtual machine, and the engine, JavaScript engine, translate 100 JavaScript statement in 100,000 virtual machine instructions. Virtual machines is lower language, virtual machine language. Here it is again C++. Look at C++ is JavaScript engine. That JavaScript engine C++ code virtual machine. Translate JavaScript statement to virtual machine instructions. Translate high level to lower level virtual, what we call virtual machine. Why we call virtual machine? Because it would be execute complete entire programs, our programs, 100 statement JavaScript, complete programs would be translate in virtual machine and can be executed in that environment. Virtual machine can be execute like that, but execute in virtual machine. Because of that, we call it virtual machine. Cannot go to screen. For screen, we must wait, but can entire be executed in virtual machine in any hardware. In any hardware. Entire every programs in virtual machine instructions, it is entire program and would be executed in that virtual machine. That virtual machine code is again C++. And it means that from high level C++, we created low level virtual machine instructions. And from 100 to 100,000, it is a shorter path than all from 100 to 30 million to machine language. And that part, it is like bytecode in JavaScript. That part is together for all hardware, that virtual machine. But now stop we now, and of course, engine must also, JavaScript engine, C++ developer who code it, must translate virtual machine instructions in assembly instructions. Assembly instructions is first high level after machine language instructions. Machine language instruction is 101010, and assembly is something better for man. And assembly instructions, of course, it is a lower level language than virtual machine. And in assembly instructions, engine translate 100,000 virtual machine instructions, translate in assembly, and it would be, for example, 1 million assembly instructions. And after that 1 million also translate in machine language. But that story is okay. We have two questions. First, how developer know code translator, that every JavaScript statement translate in virtual machine instructions. It is possible because we have a limited small number of statements. We have a grammar, and the statement is coming from grammar of JavaScript. And we have a next statement in JavaScript. For a question like it, how many type of statements we have in JavaScript, artificial intelligence is ideal, because ChatGPT, it has memory for that. It would be here nine type of JavaScript statements. It means that in any programs you have 9 type, the most 9 types of JavaScript statement. And okay, you can in any time stop and hear video and read like you, but and I will short read. In React application, there are several types of statement or statement or contracts that JavaScript engine developers need to account for when translating high-level JavaScript code to lower-level virtual machine code, assembler, and eventually machine code. These include variable declaration and assignments, control flow statements. You see switch case, for, while, do, while, break, continue, if else, function declarations and expressions. Here is async, return, evade, expressions and operators. Here it is, object and array operations, error handling, modules, classes and object-oriented programming, document object model manipulation. Look at something special in JSX syntax. Okay, each of these types of statements or constructs requires careful handling by JavaScript engine developers to ensure that they are correctly translated and optimized across different environments and hardware architecture where the React application might run. This translation process involves converting this high-level construct into instructions that can be efficiently executed by the underlying virtual machine, assemblers, and ultimately the computer's hardware. I don't know how about you, but artificial intelligence, this chat GPT, is for me totally boring. There is a long sentence and I don't forget first part when I coming in the middle of that sentence, etc., etc. But after all of my video, we can who look at it and who coming in level like I am. It is very it is excellent function of ChatGPT when we know what we ask. When we know what we ask. And here we are. Developer of JavaScript engine know that 9 JavaScript type of statements. And every program, there is only that 9 types. There is nothing nothing outside of this 9 JavaScript statement. And JavaScript engine developer program in C++, and of course, translate that high level JavaScript statement by statement. Look at from top to down. Look at in our high level React, and statement by statement write code how that statement translate that statement to virtual manage. It is again C++. Virtual manage, but must be one statement would be 100 instructions in a virtual machine. After that, he sit down and continue to translate virtual machine language, C++, to assembler. Assembler is the lowest level of high-level language. Assembler. And after that, assembler translate to machine language, Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. React application, enter address in browser, and our React application go to JS Engine. JS Engine look at in statement by statement, and every statement translate. When you look at, if we thinking that JS Engine developers is something very, very complicated in compare with front-end developer. Now we see that it is not like that, because translate only 9 type JS statement. And when now translate every of that, that engine, JavaScript engine developer can copy all others, because look at in create template for every JS statement. There is a template convert in use for translating virtual machine language. And when you look at like that, it is that process must not be something impossible mission. And virtual machine builder, I call it virtual machine builder, but it is not only virtual machine builder. Engine, JavaScript engine, translate virtual machine to assembler, and translate assembler to machine language. First question was how engine developer know translate high level. No, because there is a 9 type of JavaScript statement. But how virtual machine know different assembler, because every line of the processors, microprocessors, controller, every line, every series of type, there is a separate assembler. Because assembly language, assembler programs, it is first level after machine language, and it would be translated in machine language. But machine language is one-to-one on the switches in processor. But that switches in every processor can have some differences. It is not same. And because of that, we have implementation. Implementation and plus assembler, implementation to hardware. It means that JavaScript engine developers create virtual machine one time and never virtual machine, JavaScript virtual machine must be created for every React, for every application. And it is process translation is the same for all hardware. And it must stop something above concretely assembler and concretely hardware. And that part, virtual machine, is the same for every hardware. It means translator is created one time, translator is programmed one time, and used in every JS engine on every hardware. But from virtual machine, that what is same in all, and of course that virtual machine engine developer to translate in assembler, and that assembler translate in machine language. But from that to concretely hardware must be implementation. And we call that JavaScript virtual machine implementation. And that part must be created for concretely hardware. V8 is name of JavaScript engine in Google, or Spiderman, how it is called in Apple, and other. Every of them, there is that implementation different. That implementation is different, and of course that implementation, it means our completely executed in every hardware virtual machine, executed to machine language, to assembler machine language. It is, of course, it is assembler of what created, invented engine developer. It is only engine developer must go from high level to virtual machine, from virtual machine to assembler, from assembler to machine language. It is not assembler of some concretely computer, but it is assembler what help translate from virtual machine to machine language. But that machine language cannot work in different hardware. That machine language must have implementation to concretely assembler. Again, we have machine language from our virtual machine, and it is the same for all hardware. But now, for different hardware, any different hardware, we must, developer must create implementation. Implementation that virtual machine can go longer, can go until real machine language for concretely hardware. And that implementation, it work engine developer, JavaScript engine developer, create virtual machine implementation for concretely assembler. Here is a concretely assembler. Assembler for concretely hardware. And altogether, in the end, we have output machine language for concretely hardware, microprocessors or controller. And this part is something excellent in our civilization, what happened. That abstraction, it is all abstraction, until machine language, also abstraction. And here is a microprocessor and controller, it is switches. It is a real world, switches. Billion switches in processor. And that switches correspond 1010, what we write on the paper, for example. But in switches, 1 is 5 volts. O is 0 volts, 5, 0, 5, 5, 5, etc. For example, we can 64 byte, 64 bit input in processor. And every bit is 1 or 0. But how abstraction 101 and all abstraction statements, high level, JS engines, virtual machine implementation, assembler 101, all it can be on the paper by hand. how it go to 5 volts, 0 volt, and in real life in computers. But there is a, for example, mechanical, must be some mechanical contact, and of course it is keyboard. Keyboard, when we touch one sign on the keyboard, when we write from paper, when we write that abstraction on computer, no paper, we program directly on the computer, we type, we must type, we must move mouse or other pointer and input devices. But when we concretely, we can say it about keyboard, when I type one key on the keyboard, it is immediately some number in the memory. And the memory means a lot of cells of memory where we that letters go like a number. It means go like 5005500, go in binary code, but real voltage. And if we switch off computers, there is nothing. It is but because of that we save it. When we save it on hard disk, there is a magnetic correspondence of real element, magnetic correspondence to 5 volt, 0 volt, etc. And when we switch off computers, magnetic stay like it for every bit. And when we turn on and continue to work in programs, or call the programs from hard disk, that programs, magnetic, go to memory when we want to start that program. We call the program, and that program go to memory all in 5 volts, 0 volts, 5 volts, 0 volts, every that value in real stay in memory, and from memory go to processors, and processors execute that machine language instructions by instructions. It is Newman model of computer. It means that same hardware, we can change software. We can change software. And how you see here in this diagram and in my explanation, that we write program in high-level language, JavaScript language, Python, etc. Here is we spoke about JavaScript, and it is same for Python, for C++, for all others. Language, it is the same. Java, it is the same process. I said it means that statements, it is like sentence in our grammar of language. Every statement, there is a complete grammar in complete, must be verified for grammar, and it would be in process of JS engine. First, we have that control of grammar and create tokenization, create tree constructions of our programs. And after that, go translation, our high level in virtual machine language, and assembler and implementation to concretely hardware, and go to microprocessor controller, or we save it in hard disk. But when what is in computer, it is in real world 5 volt, 12 volt, real world, and can be deleted when we switch off, can be saved for next time, long time, if we save it in hard disks or other semiconductors kind of for quite a hard drive. We can look at this also. I said all in code of any app is statement, and all grammar is it. Yes, in the context of programming language, like JavaScript, every line of code in an application is composed of statements. And these statements collectively adhere to the grammar rules of the language. Here's how this concept applies. Statements in code. Definition, what is statement? A statement in programming is a complete instruction that the computer can execute. It can be a variable declaration, an assignment, function call, a loop, conditional statement, etc. Okay, you can we can learn from ChatGPT only if we can ask. If we can ask, it means that we know a lot of, but we ask for because we didn't memorize. And example, etc. Grammar rules, syntax, validity, of course, validity, parentheses, braces, semicolons, keywords. It is crucial. And examples, incorrect grammar might include missing semicolons, mismatched parentheses, or using. It is also in our typing, error in typing, etc. Interpretation and execution. You go through this in your own asking, or you can go through this stop video and concentrate looking in. Interpretation and execution. The JavaScript engine parses the code to analyze its structures according to the grammar rules. It is control grammar rules. Execution. Once parsed, the engine executes the statements based on their meaning and purpose within the application's logic. Comprehensive understanding. Developers need comprehensive understanding of JavaScript grammar. It means it's all time on program developers of engine, JavaScript engine. In summary, every aspect of JavaScript application, from variable declaration to complex logic structure, is encapsulated within statements that adhere to the language grammar. This adherence ensures that the code is understandable by the JavaScript engine, facilitating proper execution and desired functionality. It is a lot of general, but again, excellent ChatGPT. Excellent is notice all. Don't lose nothing in that because of it is burning. My video, my talking is without any paper, any notice, and you can say, we see that, yes, absolutely. My video would be better quality if I know more words and that I have not pause for finding words in my head, and that I better prepare. But it is like it. I hope I more and more satisfied, better and better. But I like spoke about something in my words, free, as we spoke in the coffee bar, and I like this. I don't like to be connected. Uh, Connected hard on some notice. Because of that, I repeated and repeated some topic because when I listening video, thinking about video, I nothing don't understand. Over me, I create video, I don't understand that video, and of course I go again and again and again, and it is practice. It is my production. Okay, I satisfied with this now about JavaScript engine developers and how we have a new version and JavaScript not go very fast. It is impressive new version. It was 2060 and it was that new version asked from developers, engine developers, that incorporate, implement that news in engine, JavaScript engine. It means that JavaScript engine code translation from high level to virtual machine, from virtual machine to assembler, and from a virtual machine and that assembler to implementation for concrete implementation, assembler, implementation, virtual machine, implement to concretely hardware. JavaScript for this Internet of Things and all that electronic devices with controllers can go JavaScript also. And you see now, JavaScript can go in computers. But on the computer, we connect controllers. And the controller, and we have a full JavaScript for concretely. And we program something, and we push some button for finished, and we have in output that process virtual machine, assembler, implementation for that controller. We have machine language. And that machine language we send to controller. Because controller, there is no place for, there is no place, it is like processor. It is like microprocessor. It is the same as microprocessor, but not same strictly because, for example, controller is when we have memory and processor in one piece, in one chip. But microprocessor, separate memory and separate processor. And it is, but controller is the same, and we can implement JavaScript in our computer and send only machine language, because controller there is a smaller memory, and in that memory can, for example, can go our machine language, and machine language is in our devices, and that device is switch off, disconnect from our computer, push button, and that device work with oven sensors, work what programs said. Okay, again, I can repeat what it need. Does it need to web front-end developers? I don't know. I like it. I study it. I study, and my generation practically involved that first computers, that whole process of computerization, our industry, etc. And in bank, in industry, in computer centers, and but and we are. It was time Fortran. Fortran is first high level language, some of first, but today it is a big job to be. We need a web front-end developer must know a lot of, because it is not programmers, it is developer. It means that it's not only programmers, it is also designers, psychology of customer, psychology of market, sociology of market, colors, presentation, web front-end developer. It is very dynamic, big knowledge. But before my generation, we was only programmers. There is nothing worry about user interface. Now, user interface, experience, user experience, a lot of jobs. Because of that, front-end developer today must know nothing about all this video, what I said. But if I can something, what is important, it is appeal to web developers front end that take time to look at in architecture. Look at to architecture. It means that writing that front end and the user interface, that code, that it would be understandable everybody and them after 1 month, 1 year, that would be maintainable, that would be clear, and it would be if we follow here some standard, and that standard we call principles, and it is in acronym SOLID. For my courses and all this video for beginners, it is enough. And if you are beginners, don't worry about all 5 principles, but worry only about separation by concerns, or single responsibility principle, single responsibility. In my application, there is a component only for add post form, component only for update post form. There is a component only for a list of posts. And it's very interesting who all help. For example, hooks function, state managers use state, Redux, who help components, that components can be single responsiveness, separate for one goals. Who help them? And it is interesting to see. And I hope I go back to continue video about how to learn React, and it would be update post form. Update post form, I hope in the next video. Okay, it's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video.